We can also wait till it's at its tippy point and then just push it.
One of the many projects on our list has been to turn this dead ash trunk on the roadside into a living planter. Seeing that Sonder was on his last day of chainsaw work on the land, we figured we could fit it in. What seemed like a simple task, however, turned out to be a little bit of a challenge, seeing it was on a slope and we had some cleaning up to do. But by tomorrow, this project would get done. So this has been on our project list for a while now. This tree was cut. When our tree cutters came in, they left it because they're like, well, why don't you do like a totem pole or something with this? The way that it's placed next to the road. And we're like, yeah, might as well leave it. But I think we're not gonna do the totem pole idea, but we might actually do a naturalistic planter. What we're proposing is cutting it off pretty short, maybe the diameter at breast height if you're actually standing on the road, because it is quite a severe drop off. The next step would be trying to figure out how to drop the rest of the trunk safely so it wouldn't roll down into the ditch.
Bing, bing. We're this much away from it.
Okay.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see how much, if I can finish this cut on one battery.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm really impressed with this battery saw. It could roll that way, that way.
Yeah.
I'll probably get the come along tool and then we'll ratchet it over. All right, sun protection. Now we could turn this thing on its side and make it into a planter too.
Yeah, I was thinking of like cutting it like a trough.
Mm-hmm. So that's probably not gonna reach, huh?
Oh boy.
That's like half the tree.
Yeah, you need the extra large seat belt.
I guess I could just use it like this.
You gotta be out of the way of the thing if it falls.
Yeah, and then the problem is you're always pulling towards.
Yeah.
But is this thing moving or not?
Yes, it is.
Is it like moving forward or just tipping over?
It's, well, you gotta keep on going. It's moving forward and
look,
tipping
it's
over.
walking now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe move some of these things out of the way.
Yeah, I think we'll have to, uh-oh. We can also wait till it's at its tippy point and then just push it. It could go this way too. Okay, here goes.
Ooh,
perfect drop.
What a thud.
Look at that.
It's not hollow at all or anything like that.
Yeah,
wow,
let's
now
look
we
at
could proper.
Wow, let's look at these
it's
rings
old.
here. Ooh, that was a very horizontal cut.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 80 right there.
So
There's
it's
one more.
81.
81 years old.
81 years old. Oh, it's sad.
Wow.
It's sad that the emerald ash borer took it out.
And one emerald ash borer too.
Yeah. Wow.
What else can you tell from this?
Well,
Anything?
yeah.
I mean, I see a lot of like weird squiggly stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the weird squiggly stuff is. If we get the tree person here, he might be able to tell us, but really fine lines mean that it was a really restricted growth, you know, and then big and fat means it was like a really good year of probably rain and sun. Mm-hmm. So anything that is like, you know, very tight means it was not a good growth year, very restricted.
Wow. This big of an edge?
Sure.
Less I gotta cut out. Are we moving our deer fence or are we moving the log?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. It depends on how good they put those posts in. Looks like they did put them in pretty good though.
Or under this. I could probably lift it.
Oh yeah.
See, it's coming off, but I might need you to shimmy the chain off of it.
Okay.
So.
Well, can we unhook the chain? Why don't we just
we
unhook it?
Could. The tension go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this will be a lot easier.
Exactly.
Man,
I come with the ideas as well.
So you could just pull on that.
I could just pull it out, yep.
On that side. Wow, effortless.
Yeah, I think that could work.
I think you make it a planter because no one's gonna sit out here.
Yeah.
It'd be weird to sit out here and...
It looks quite nice as a seat though, right there.
It is.
All right, well, Sonder actually hacked away at this and we got something that looks like a semblance of a planter pot. And this is like one of those projects that, you know, we push off now and again and over because it's not one of those really priority projects. And I think we just got sick of looking at this stump, and Sonder had one more day of cutting trees and said, let's just actually do this. And you can see how good of a makeshift workbench that this is as well. Eventually this is going to have planter pots on, but the thing that I want to concentrate on now is this. It's so funny too, because I was just on YouTube the other day uploading a video and I saw an AI generated stump planter vertical video. It had like 7 million views and it was like all fake. It was like this fake person putting in some of the soil, the plants, watering in it, and boom, flowers.
Wow.
It was amazing. I don't think it'll go that fast for us, but we're gonna try. You know, I didn't want this pooling water, so Sonder cut this gap right here. So you can see that that will be actually the drainage hole. And I'm gonna be using some Espoma organic cactus mix and then also some of the bonsai mix right here. So just a mixture of that. And I got some really great plants. I mean, these are gonna be plants that should be able to do extremely well in the heat and with just the ordinary rainfall, because this is not going to get much care. That's for sure. So I have some nice 4 and 5 inch plants. So I spent early part of the morning just drilling some of the holes in the front here. And I basically want to take some of these sempervivums, which are these live forevers, and plant some in here, yes, of course, but take some of the individual ones and start plunking them in there. And I, you know, kind of made it look like as if it was falling down like a little waterfall. So I think that'll look really pretty. Now this bonsai mix is something that I really love. It's a great topper, but it's also nice in a succulent mix. It's this puffed shale and clay. It's the kind of mix that you would normally see on like a green roof, which is perfect. This is kind of like the green roof of a tree, a stump. Now, this is the first plant that I would like as a somewhat of a centerpiece. This is called a Euphorbia bonfire. It's a cushion spurge. It has a very viscous, milky sap that you do not want to get in your eyes, but it gets this really nice red leaf, as you could see here, and this brilliant yellow flower. So some of these in my garden were actually just flowering. I don't know if it will reflower again, but that is going to be one of the centerpieces. And this is actually hardy to our zone, believe it or not, a euphorbia that's hardy to the zone. Kind of hard to believe. Now this one is likely not hardy to our zone. This is an aeonium. I have some more of these that I'm going to plant in a separate planter that I have an idea of, like with planting with erigeron and maybe some begonias, so some non-hardy things. So if I want to keep this, I'll have to grab this from in the fall months, but you can see that it gets this like long stalk and then this flower head. You know, Sonder was recommending to have some plants that hang over, and I will have some succulents that will start to drape over, but I'm afraid to get anything too herbaceous in here that will need water, because it could look pretty bad because I'm not going to be up here watering it. This is such a slope. This is another great succulent in the garden, and actually cold hardy. So when I say cold hardy, we're a zone 5-6. This is a Delosperma, and it gets this really Asteraceae type flower. This is a red and yellow one, which I think will also look nice since this cushion spurge gets that red color leaf. And this will be one of the ones that will slowly kind of drape over. It doesn't get too long. The other thing I'm going to try here is this baby's breath. This is called Festival Star. And you could see that it has this semi-succulent leaf and gets these really beautiful dainty white flowers, almost like a cloud. This does like full sun. and it gets to be maybe 12 to 18 inches tall and equally as wide, if not wider. And I think that will look pretty as this like white gauzy material if we could keep the weeds down in this area. And you can see that this is a cherry tree that's growing up on the side here. And again, this was like an old ash. So unfortunately, it was dead upon arrival when we got here. It was dying. Dianthus is another great hardy succulent. When we think of succulents, we don't always think hardy, but this one is, and it's got these glaucous kind of color leaves. This is called, I think, Frosty Fire, and it gets these little fiery red pink color on it. And I'm gonna plant one here. These are 4 to 5 inch plants, so I have to break up the roots a bit because, I don't know, you were the one having to carve this out, and ash is tough.
Ash is an extremely hard wood, so this part took Sonder the better part of 2 hours.
Well, isn't this the tree they make baseball bats out of, you're saying?
It is ash.
Wonder why.
It's hard, isn't it?
It's really tough. I went through all my chainsaw batteries and I created kind of a waffle pattern in here. And I'm trying to beat out these chunks with the hammer, but it's really tough. It's also not the right direction with the grain. It'd be easier to cut this way than it would be to cut this way.
Right.
So once my batteries are full, we'll give it another go and I should be able to get it at least 2 to 3 inches deep, which you're saying is enough for a planter.
It's enough, especially if I'm doing succulents.
Take little chips out like this.
It's a lot of work for this
Eventually we'll
little
get it.
idea.
I know. It's a big project.
Luckily, we think that the ash, even though so many have passed, they've brought in some integrated pest management. People are starting to treat their ash trees, so I don't think it's going to be the last that we see of ash, but it was sad. I mean, this was, what, 81 years old?
Yeah, the tree was 81 years old.
Well, we may have not been able to save the tree, but we're at least giving life back to the tree as a planter of sorts. All right, so that's the main plants right there, and I'm going to go with these sempervivums, which means live forever. They're also called hens and chicks, and you'll see why. You get the hens, and you got the little chickies, and these are the plants that I want to plant in the holes that I drilled. These are perfect. They always fall off. And this one is called Pot of Gold Trio. So there's 3 plants in here that turn into this red-yellow color. You don't see it right now. Oftentimes when they come to you, you don't see the colors that they could get, but they get vivid when they're in full sun. This one is part of the Chick Charms collection, Gold Nugget. So even though these plants kind of stay close to the top of this planter, so many people will not be able to see the top of the planter, but the flower spike that comes out is like a protruding finger that comes out and gets a very beautiful, usually pink, starry inflorescence at the top. Some of them, if I plant sedum, which I'll show you shortly, I have this, let me see here, Angelina sedum. This gets to be a nice yellow chartreuse color, and then this will get a nice yellow flower as well. And so a lot of these succulents may stay like a rosette, as you see here, with beautiful architecture, beautiful geometry, but they will get a gorgeous flower head. Here's another sempervivum that I have space for. This one's a bit hairier. These tend to be a little hardier. The ones that have a little hair on them are their hirsute. And then they will send off these little offsets. They don't need very much to grow. I also have some, they're sedums, and they kind of look a little smaller leaved. And I'm just gonna plant those and tuck those right into the back area here. Now I have some of these sedums. This is Sedum hispanicum. You don't really get a good sense of it. It's just a small little 2.5 inch plant. I also have some sempervivums in there. I'm just gonna stick those. These are a slightly glaucous color, which means that they are this verdigris, kind of blue-green. I love that shade, especially if we have some of these yellows and reds. I think that's gonna look really sharp. All right, so that's pretty much my planting. I could always come in here and stick some more in, but let's put the topper on. And I love using the bonsai as a topper. It just looks really clean. I like to think that it keeps the chipmunks out from planting sunflowers, but that's not always the case. I need a little broom to broom away some of the dirt, but you're not gonna see that after a little while, after the wind and the rain hits it. I brought some water to water this in as well, and we're gonna see how well it actually drains. Oh, that's cool.
So, you know, the bottom is not perfectly flat. So
Yeah.
there's some water in there, but
Yeah, we did kind of cut this at an angle so you could see a little bit more from the road. Try not to kill myself on the way down. All right, so you see that I have a few holes that I drilled here. I'm just gonna take some of this espoma medium and I'm just gonna shove it in there. This is just the cactus medium, just to give it something to grow into. Now I've put some of these bare root into rock and they grow just fine. The roots do find something to grow in. So now you can see this one has a tiny little root starting in this little offset. So what I'm gonna do is just stuff that in there. I think the roots will eventually find their way because this is a lot of crevices. That's all it needs is like a little crevice to grow into. Here's another small one. That one fits perfectly. See how that one will do. Let's start with that. I'm gonna plant this one right back up in there. And I have all these little guys, like all these little offsets. You know, even if you break off one of these at the base, there's this meristematic region, which means it's a growing region where it could differentiate as a leaf or a root or anything like that. And that signals to the plant when it breaks off from the mother plant to produce more. So all these little guys, I'm just gonna dump right in here. There we go. All right, this is like one of those projects that I didn't know when we were gonna get to it, but we really wanted to do it. Sonder had to spend pretty much good 2 hours kind of cutting it and carving it out. It is surprising how hefty an ash is, but look at that. Maybe it took us a little bit longer than some of those AI videos on YouTube, and inevitably it ends up being kind of the same type of thing. So stump planters, not a bad idea if you have a dead stump in your yard. So we'll see how this looks throughout the year.
Stay tuned because we'll have more projects and garden tours here at Flock. See you in the next video.